Hey, there's one thing that I love about the end of August and the beginning of September, and that is college football. We got VMI football. Coach Scott Wachenheim coming up. We're fired up. First game. Wow, it's already coming up. First game for the Keydets. That's right. You're going to hear the whole games, all 11, right here, WHKT AM 1650 Hampton Roads and WNTW AM 820 Richmond and Central Virginia. And kickoff 6:30 pregame show with Coach Wachenheim and the voice of the Keydets, Wade Bremer. Also joining us in studio, former VMI defensive end, class of 69.
69, that's
Lee
right.
Barnes, class of 69. Coach Wack wasn't even born in 69, but he's with us now. Coach Scott Wachenheim, VMI Keydets second season about to start. You going to Akron Saturday? You fired up or what?
I'm fired up, but I was born in 1962, John, and so I was 7 when Lee was out there running around VMI.
You were 7, right? You were just a little tyke out there, probably playing midget football, if I know you. But look, I'm excited about this season. Now, what are the downsides? I just got to get right to it. How do we end up with 7 road games and only 4 home games? How'd that happen?
Well, we like traveling at VMI. I mean, there's nothing better for a Keydef to get off post and, to ride a nice bus, stay in a nice hotel, eat a good meal, and play a football game. That's a good weekend for a Keydef. So that's how we ended up doing that. Part of it's just the SoCon scheduling, which we have no control over, and you can only play 11 games a year except for certain years and, certain restrictions that apply to that. So just the way the schedule worked out, and we're excited about playing it. We got a lot of quality opponents and a great SoCon schedule, and we'll go out, never say die. And, hey, just like those government candidates you count, don't count us out and don't underestimate us, right?
That's right. Lee, they just got out of training camp, first game. Now, you kind of go back and remember you break camp, you go into the first game, butterflies. What do you think?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But I feel really confident, and I feel good about this season. I think Coach Wack has really got a good program put together out there, and we're going to be a winner this year. We're going to do it. This is the year we're going to turn it around.
Well, I tell you what, if anybody can do it, Coach Wachenheim can do it. I got to tell you, Coach, in calling up your VMI alumni and trying to get this going in Hampton Roads, everybody I talked to was so excited about you being the head coach at VMI. They've got so much faith in you. You've got quite the following.
That's great to hear. I sent a lot of money out to the Hampton Roads area to pay people to say that, and it's glad they all got that money and are doing what I asked them to do with that check. But no, seriously, we're just working hard. It's a pleasure to coach at VMI. It was always a dream of mine to be a head football coach. A bigger dream of mine to coach at a place that when the young men graduated and were done playing football, that they would go on to bigger and better things. And, VMI is just a great place to do that. The class of 2016, 302 graduates in that class. 49% of them went into the armed forces and are serving our country. So you can do a radio show and I can coach football. And the rest of them, they were the 29th highest paid graduating class. And you truly can't graduate from VMI, have a chance to play in the NFL. You can be a 4-star general like General P in the Army, or you can go in and run a corporation and run your own company, be a CEO or a CFO. So it's a great place for no matter what you want to do in life. VMI is a great place to go to college.
Okay, look, no question. This is your second year at VMI. I remember talking to you before your first game as VMI head coach ever. What's different this season going into your first game, going up to Akron, than it was 12 months ago?
Well, you know the ins and outs of VMI a little bit better. How you travel. You understand that the cadets have to sign out, and they can only sign out in barracks. So you're more able to organize the travel procedure and make it a smoother transition. The ability to keep the entire coaching staff here, with the exception of a new strength coach, Dave Foreman, gives our young men familiarity with our systems, with the way we coach. We haven't changed much on offense, defense, or special teams. So they're just more experienced in what we do, how we call it, and how we go about our business. So the comfort level's a little bit higher, and I think our team's really, really improved, and they're energized, and we're looking forward to play a very tough Akron team.
It is going to be tough. Lee, your perspective, going to the first game, first time you played, whether it be a freshman or a sophomore, going to that second game, what's the level of excitement you have?
Well, I want to tell you what, the coach is right. There's nothing more exciting than getting off post, too. And when you go on the away games, they're kind of fun. But we're always the team that's got guys that are maybe a step or two slower. We're maybe 10 or 20, maybe 40 pounds lighter. But I tell you what, we make up with it. It's Coach Walk's job to make sure to get out there and make it up with spirit and the VMI spirit. So it's like we go in as underdogs almost every game on there. But I tell you what, we have some surprises for them. When I look back on my career, I never see anything except that 1967 game that we beat Virginia Tech in Roanoke, 12-10, little old VMI, and we put the Hokies game in there. So that's always an indelible memory. I'll say this, at VMI football is so absolutely important because, it is a quintessential thing. Even our spirit, what's called the VMI spirit, starts out with when our line starts the weekend and our backs fail to gain and the ends are so crippled to win seems in vain. It just goes to show you that is VMI spirit right there coming through. And not only was I a chemistry major and a football player, but I was a keyed in the core. But most of all, and I really do mean this, and all my life has proven this way, I was a brother rat. And that was a very, very special thing for me. I never realized how good VMI was for me until every year that I got out.
That's right. And you are no longer a brother rat, right?
Brother rat.
Now, look, I want to get to your season, Coach Walk. We know you're going to get a lot of yards in the air, no question. You got a great receiving group coming back. You've got just a stellar quarterback running game. What do you see?
Well, first of all, once a brother rat, always a brother rat. I mean, the reunions here are unbelievable when these guys come back. I mean, it's exciting to see. I mean, it really is a thrill. Even more, I graduated from the Air Force Academy. Even more than when I go back for a reunion, the VMI graduates, alumni, they are extremely close. Of course, our throwing game is led by Al Cobb at quarterback, who was preseason All-SoCon and just had an excellent season last year, and just an excellent young man with over a 3.0 GPA in biology, and just the leader of our football team. And then he's got to throw to Aaron Sanders, who was the third leading receiver in all of one FCS football last year. And Aaron's had just an unbelievable training camp. Really, came back, worked hard on his craft. People have asked me a lot, how come you throw the football so much? And it's truly because we are a run-pass option team, which is very, very similar to the triple option that the Citadel runs. The difference is when we pull the ball, instead of the quarterback keeping or pitching, we pull the ball and the quarterback either throws to an inside receiver or an outside receiver. So if we pull it and throw it to an inside receiver, that's like the quarterback keeping it. If we pull it and throw it to the outside receiver, that's like a quarterback pitching it. It's just if the ball is incomplete, it's a 0-yard gain and the clock doesn't keep on ticking. But with our talent at quarterback and our talent at receiver, we believe that gives us the best chance to win football games. If we had a guy that was a runner and not as good a passer and lesser maybe receivers than we have, then we probably would be more traditional option football type of offense. But excited for that. We've worked extremely hard on improving our run game. I believe our offensive line is the most improved part of our football team. Those young men just took it to heart that we needed to do a better job running the football and really worked hard this summer and have come back with a great attitude and a great mindset and, the spirit of VMI, which is never say die. We kind of have a model this year, keep pumping, based off the Zig Ziglar prime the pump message that he gave, which it's just another way of saying never say die. It's you just keep pumping till that water comes up from that well.
When you look at your team, and no doubt you're going to throw a lot of touchdowns up, you lost a lot of tough games last year in the final minute, maybe 3 or 4 that could have gone, Coach, either way, a play here or play there. Has your team matured from that?
Well, I think so. It was first of all, as a head coach, that was my number one thing that I studied in the off season is how do you win a close game? It's common for teams that when you're changing a culture or turning around a football team to the first step is actually getting to the fourth quarter in the game, which we did. I mean, in every ball game we had a chance to win going in the second half, and all but one going in the fourth quarter we were within 2 scores with a chance to win the football game. So I went out of my way to try and learn it. The first thing, it's real obvious. We got to eliminate our turnovers and then get more takeaways on defense. So that's an easy thing that we've been working on in spring ball and training camp. The harder thing is creating a mindset to perform in pressure situations. And so I've read a lot of leadership books. Actually went up to UVA, watched Bronco Mendenhall's practice, was so impressed with the way he runs practice. I read his book, Running into the Wind, and led me on a journey of reading a book called Legacy about the New Zealand All Blacks, and a book by Navy SEALs called Resilience, and also listening to TED Talks, great one on frugal innovation, just taking the resources that you do have and turning them into a positive. So I believe that as the staff and I got together and formulated a plan, that we have a system in place that will help us win these close games, and because that's the way we're going to win at VMI. I mean, we're not going to go out and blow people out by 50 points as much as we'd like to. Our victories are going to come by either scoring on the last drive of the game or stopping our opponent on the last drive of the game.
Well, you know what? You sounded a lot like Coach Bobby Ross, who led the San Diego Chargers, an underachieving team, to the Super Bowl. And I know, Lee, he's one of your favorite guys, right?
And Georgia Tech to national championship.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. He's probably a lot like Coach Walk right now.
Yep.
I mean, what an inspirational fellow he was. He's the guy who moved me from about 8th-string linebacker to defensive end. But some of the stuff that I always remember from Bobby to this day, you had one way to play the game, and that was with reckless abandon.
Mm-hmm. Coach Walk, let's go to the other side of the football defensively. We know you're going to put a lot of touchdowns up, no question. Defensively, you got to be fired up about having Ryan Francis and Alan Krastenberg back at inside linebacker. These are your two anchors. What have they shown you in training camp?
Yeah, Batman and Robin, the dynamic duo, over 100 tackles each last year. They're bigger, stronger, faster, and better. Just do a great job. They totally understand the defense. They're leaders on defense. They practice extremely hard. We're just blessed to have them on the team. And, we got some great outside linebackers as well. We've got Tony Richardson over there and Brian Lipscomb, and then Elijah Robinson, who we moved from safety down to outside linebacker. Those give us a really solid 3-man rotation. Also at inside linebacker, Caleb Lindsay is back, and Scotty Francis is a guy that we moved down from safety. Greg Sanders is a really good safety for us. Last year returned a kickoff also for a touchdown against Wofford. Excited about the guys that we have on defense and the positive impact. Really, kind of the leader of the team is Damian Jones, a fifth-year guy for us that plays corner, and then a spiritual leader, also another fifth-year guy, J.C. Garvin, who's overcome open heart surgery and is playing football for us at defensive end. Just truly inspirational that, what he has done to continue playing the game of football. And
you're going to Akron. Boy, they had a great 2015. On paper, Coach, they look very tough under Coach Terry Bowden. Everybody remembers him from his Southeast Conference days. What tests do they present for VMI on Saturday night?
Well, first of all, they're great coaches. Terry Bowden, who's the head football coach. Terry's had a lot of success at Auburn, and everywhere he's been, he's won. Of course, his father, Bobby, and his brother, Tommy, have also been very, very successful coaches. They win games the old-fashioned way. Again, Coach McKenna-type team. They take care of the football. They make fewer mistakes than their opponents. They were third in interceptions last year with 14 and second in turnover margin at plus 10. So they run the ball on offense, and they've got a really, really good quarterback, Thomas Woodson, who big, strong guy. He weighed 233. I think he's down 10 pounds, so 223 this year. They've lost 15 out of 22 starters, but they've replaced them with some really high-quality transfers. Their starting running back, Warren Ball, is a running back from Ohio State. They got a wide receiver and punt returner, JoJo Natson, from Utah State, that is really, really a dynamic player. Defense, they stop the run by loading the box, and they limit your ability to throw the football by playing aggressive man-free coverage. They got two outstanding defensive ends that put pressure on the quarterback. One is Jamal Marcus, number 34, and the other is number 90, Savon Pittman. So it'd be a challenge for our tackles to block the kind of size and speed they have coming off the edge, and really be a challenge to tackle the big running back ball, the transfer from Ohio State, and the big quarterback, Woodson.
All right. We got a final word, though, from Class of 69 VMI defensive end Lee Barnes, one of our sponsors, by the way, to make this whole thing possible. What's your final word here to Coach Walkley?
Oh, I tell you, well, like he just said, win, team, or die, and that's what VMI is all about. He's going to go out there with a group that is going to exemplify the VMI spirit.
Have a great
Anytime,
game
John.
on Saturday.
Appreciate it. It's always fun.
We'll talk to you next week, and good luck Saturday night in Akron. Kickoff 6:30, pregame show 6 p.m. right here.
And like Bobby Ross used to say, fellas, you got to get out there and play with reckless abandon, and you're going to tell them that, Coach.
All right, week 1, Coach Walk bringing it to you.